Yeah, nah.
Book a break. We're back from the break. I have
I'm
Mexican
gonna vibe
candy.
check for Riz because it's fucking Riz. He wouldn't bring it up even if it was a problem.
It's not a
Dude's fucking
problem.
exhausted.
I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm good. I'm good. I'm healthy.
It's like the first thing you said when you came back.
And you know what? Since I popped this candy in my mouth, I'm good. I got sugar. Maybe I had low sugar.
Mentally exhausted. There's a difference. All right.
Yeah.
So I need
Something
to...
like that.
Mentally exhausted doesn't count.
Yep.
Doesn't.
Yep.
Yeah, we don't care about mental health.
That is
Yeah.
a healthy way to say that.
High five.
Fuck mental health.
All my homies hate mental health.
What's mental health ever
I mean,
done
a
for
way,
me?
yeah.
What's it?
Anyways,
It's Minecraft time, fellas. Let's
okay.
start
No,
playing.
it's not Minecraft time. Very much not. You don't even get to Minecraft.
It's solitary time.
Quick vibe check from everyone. Once again,
I'm good.
as we start again. Remember, vibe check. This vibe check is for, so we have like this session 0.5.
Let's see. My vibe check is.
Check my mood ring.
Don't check your Blender to-dos. Don't.
Exclamation point vibe check. I am at 41% vibing.
That's good.
Is that your battery or something? Like your mental
Actually,
battery,
wait,
literal
hang on,
battery?
Hang on. You saying that reminds me. I need to check the battery on my house.
That's a good idea.
That's an actual thing.
I went into.
I'm solar powered, Riz.
Oh no, not that! Fucking Hina's Twitch command.
That's not my Twitch command. I went into a friend's stream chat while they're offline.
Oh my
to do
god.
Oh my god.
exclamation point vibe check.
That's
Oh my
That's
god.
awesome.
They're gonna be so confused if they ever.
No, it's fine. It's fine. She's
Anyway,
offline.
vibe is
Yeah, they can still check that.
No, she's
How's
too
the vibe?
silly.
I need to consider stopping.
Shit.
How
Check
stopping
her
are you
vibe check here,
talking?
fellas.
Oh, Beetle.
How close are
I've
we
seen
talking?
Beetle.
Yeah.
She's
Dale.
nice.
Dale.
Dale.
They're nice.
Dale,
Yeah,
Stay on
vibe.
target.
Dale.
Stay on target.
I'm saying it's bad, and I need to consider lowering how much power my fucking computer's using. Meaning no
Lower
more
your screen brightness.
bullshit.
You can close Tailspire. If we can,
Great.
we
Lower
can
your
close
screen
Tailspire
brightness.
and just
I
how
can't
long do you
lower
think
my
you can
screen
have
brightness.
with if you go into full battery mode besides this call?
I
Fuck.
I don't know if I'm entirely honest.
You should
Like,
have at
we're-
least 2 hours.
We are going at more than average amperage, and I
Oh.
don't know how much of it is mine.
Okay. Well, the nice thing is, with how this next part of the story is going to happen, you can sit around, and if you need to disappear for power saving reasons, totally get it. You can disappear now. We can quickly do the session 0 now. If everybody's fine with that, then we continue the session after.
Please do.
If we, okay.
Like,
Okay.
It's genuinely a concern.
That's why I'm. All right. So we will do another vibe check at the end of the session 0 to continue the D&D session. I have a feeling at least Hina will try and force herself to keep playing because the internet. But for the sake of Dale actually being here, let's do that session 0 check-in. Very, very quickly. Well, not quickly, I should say. What's the word for randomly out of early? That word.
Impromptu.
Impromptu. Thank you.
Impromptu.
Yo, impromptu session 0.5.
Impromptu session 0.0.5. All right, so while I'm doing these questions, think about questions you have for yourself, because like I said, I want this session 0.5 to be back and forth. You know, I ask of question about the campaign, how you guys are feeling about it. You guys can ask, what's the capital of Offrius or something. Whatever you want to know. It can be world building related. It can be something like what you wanted information, like what would have happened or whatever.
All right,
Now
all
is the
right, all right.
time to get the questions off your chest for everything that's happened so far. I think it is
Okay.
I
right to
need
let
to
Dale
know.
to give away
I
first.
need to fucking know.
Yeah, what's up?
Does Q have a cloaca?
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up. Please do not answer that.
Ah,
I was joking.
He's a bird. Of course he has one. Shut up, bird.
the bird. Yeah, of course.
Joking. That's not actually a question.
Okay.
It's like asking, does a human male have a penis?
Okay.
All right.
Dale, you still
Actual
get the first
question I have.
question. Yep.
They probably couldn't.
Genuinely, just because it happened before I got here,
What's up? That's also something you all can ask about.
what
two
the
of you.
fuck was up with the dragon contract?
All right. So the dragon contract. This will also act as a quick reminder to the other two players that have been here.
Yeah.
So basically, what happened was the dragon contract wasn't a thing always for the first 8 sessions. This was very much the session right before Marcy came here, and a little bit before your time too. It was basically what happened was to get to the point in the story that we need to. I need to set up the premise that Hina, and I'm going by their real names here, not their characters. Hina and Rizzo, and at the time Mystic and Devin, got met Q in an alleyway. And
Ava tried to stab them in the back.
tried to
with a
stab him in the
natural
back,
20.
and it just so happens that they were also being pursued. They were trying to pursue someone else, but mistook Q for the person they were trying to pursue as wearing similar cloaks, but didn't realize they were different colors. And stabbed Q, and Q was like went suddenly into astral form. That was the first introduction of Q, getting not being able to be stabbed. Also,
I think,
then rearing around the corner. I'm the one answering questions.
Sorry.
And rearing around the corner, Koldrak, the person that they didn't know at the time Koldrak who was or what they are. This is the first introduction. Koldrak came around, was like, haha, I got all 5 of you here while I need you. See ya, and teleported them all using an astral planar astral portal that he was able to spellcast, because that was a special Koldrak you guys still haven't met again.
Oh.
And basically that teleported him to this alternate realm. That was a crossover with my other D&D group at the time. That doesn't matter. What happened in the end was they were in this pit that was somehow teleported from Carthaxia itself into this small pocket realm. This pit itself was in control of the Carthaxians. You know, if Carthaxians have, this is a very small realm. Beforehand, all they knew it was like some old, very powerful wizard that recently won a war and was rewarded this plane as that. It wasn't Yipple. It was another character named Gethin also, which I've retconned the I have retconned the you may recognize Gethin as that is
That was the guy.
Earth Ganassi.
Yeah.
That was the Earth
Oh, wow.
Ganassi's name again. So there's 2 peoples that are named Gethin in my campaign, and I messed that up because I mixed around the notes.
Nice.
So I do have a way to retcon it, and I have I think you'll like the name that was originally. It's not even in the notes, actually, the shared notes. But anyways, to get to the point of the contract, that group of 4, the original group of 4, I'll call them, was adventuring deeper into the pit, trying to make their way out as they were trapped. Basically, what happened was Ava managed to hit a time. Mind you, this was like the 3rd time.
Just
A
over.
timed on a custom magic table, something that sent everyone in a certain area through time. Q wasn't sent through this time portal this time. That's why he appeared much later in the campaign, confused as hell to why they don't remember. You guys don't remember him.
The worst
But,
part is that was the second time we got launched through time.
Second time we got launched through time, and basically, I haven't told you guys this, but that itself, what sent this signal out on the web level of magic to this elder dragon that is locked up outside of Segovia, outside of the plane itself, also. Not in that plane specifically. That's something that you'll have had a misconception of. She isn't on that plane. She's not in the pit locked up. She is locked up in another pocket plane near the same plane as Asteria, the plane that you're all playing on. But yeah, since you were all teleported through time, that gave her a signal like, oh, these people are capable and powerful adventurers. I should send a message to them telepathically. And the group got basically mind warped after they looted a chest room into thinking there was a cave deeper down. It sent them into a. This isn't that quick of an answer. It's really complicated. And I didn't explain it well at the time, so that's why I'm giving it now. Telepathic tricked their mind to think that they're going deeper into a cave that didn't actually exist, and made them actually put to sleep and coexistently dream of seeing in this other realm, this other pocket plane, the elder dragon chained up. And basically, the contract was made then and there as basically the elder dragon was like, hey, you guys may not remember me, but you're the adventurers I have already hired before. Remember, didn't remember? That because they technically actually have never met him as players. And was basically like, hey, sign this contract to reinforce our pre-existing contract. I need you all to do that for me so you can set me free, and then we can take back the land from Carthaxia as they have already won. Technically. That's also where I introduced the timey-wimey shit. That's what the contract was about. Does that answer your question, or does it make you have more questions? Because that's the point.
No, yeah, that's fair.
But do you understand what the contract is about, though?
Not exactly, no. I
Basically,
understand it was an extension on a pre-existing contract that they apparently signed.
yep. None of those party members besides Marvroth are left.
Yeah, so that's
So Marvroth is the only one that has that contract still.
I see.
So,
It's so true.
yeah. So Marvroth has been pulled into a contract, maybe willingly or unwillingly, and as Pyriel has, to remind you all, has pointed out, that contract has actually been in, according to him, the contract has been in place for 157 years, with Marvroth specifically.
yeah, that's why Marv's a little confused about like the time thing. He thought, okay, so yeah.
That's all caught up with the dragon contract, and it admittedly fell off the side of the planet for a while as I tried to introduce the two of you back in. Well, the two of you, and then into the story, and then Ziegel came running along because we had to, and that's why we're finally getting to that.
Ziegel running along the cart. Yo, let me in, fellas, let me in.
Yeah, there was a lot of, but yeah, that's me answering another question that I feel like I need to answer. Why is that suddenly a story plot point after all this time? It's not new. It's old, and I haven't been able to get back to it.
It's extremely old, and Ava probably would have been the center of it if she was still around.
You can ask about that next when it's your turn, Ziegel, or if somebody else wants to. This is my first question. As the DM, this is session 0. Marcy, you here? This is sorry, I know that was rambly. That feeling was important.
Sorry, I'm messing with Clay. Y'all can continue talking.
This one is related to you. This is me asking as a session 0 thing. So
Yep.
I need to make a new document to write all this down. So, since we are entering a new, well, just entering a new act here, I need to get some questions about the act up ahead. first and foremost, I get to ask 2 questions because I'm special. First and foremost, anything new on the I don't want this to be in our campaign things. Um, I've already ruled out that any form of bigotry will always be in some sort of villainy. They will always be villainous. I will never, ever, God, I will never make a character. I should say this every time. That is fully bigoted and
They're a bigot. They
is
probably should be too.
trying to convince you guys they're good. They're always evil. That is a cheat code. If that is a cheat code to tell if they're evil, they're bigoted. All right. Um, I will say, since it's D&D, it's questionable how that works because there's more than just skin color. There is entire humanoid different races.
It's time for fantasy racism.
Yeah, I need
I
to
mean,
be
yeah.
specific. This world, I don't even think I need to cover. I'm not even going to introduce people that are. I should just say racism at this point because I'm not even going to introduce at this rate anybody who's homophobic, transphobic, or anything. I as a person am not comfortable with even role playing those people.
Understandable. Have a nice day.
That's something I need to introduce, but I need to put up ahead. I think I already said it before. I'll say it again. Those 2 specifically, I'm not comfortable with doing because it makes me more gross. I can't even feel pleasure in seeing you guys beat the shit out of these people. They're just that. Not that racism is not as equally bad. They're equally bad, but you know, as an Alaska Native, I find great pleasure in seeing racist people get fucking beat the fuck up. So yeah.
Plus, like, we can all laugh at
No.
the silly joke of the dwarf calling the elf a knife-eared bastard.
Yeah,
Mhm.
there is definitely
We
levels
can giggle at that.
here. There's levels here, but where is your guys' line on that sort of stuff where it's like no longer like, oh, that's I get it. Yeah. Fantasy
Yeah,
joke. Where's the line? I mean, obviously skin color and
I
like class war stuff is pure villainy, very obvious.
listen. I. It's fine if it's fantasy racism, all that. It's fine. I understand that that's part of the setting.
I've also
Please
completely
don't make
neutered.
another Holocaust.
No God no. No
Oh,
actual fucking
I
race
didn't even
genocides.
think about that. Holy
No race
shit.
genocides.
Holy shit. I didn't even think about that. And I'm the worst one.
I mean, you're Texan.
Yeah, that's why you didn't think about it.
You just assumed it was.
Oh.
Sorry.
Rizzo.
We love you.
I'm just holy shit. I didn't think okay, yeah.
Yeah,
All
no,
right, so
I just had to bring that up. I'm sorry.
no, perfectly fine. This is the point of this. Don't apologize. We are setting boundaries here. This is the point of this. I need to check in, see if anything's changed over the last few months that you guys are like, I actually don't really like that. This is not making this isn't enjoyable to me because it exists, you know.
For me personally, I can't really say though, that's the thing.
And it's
I'm
feel free, even if you don't feel like in a position to say it, it is purely based. This right now is
Yeah.
based on your comfort zone. If you need it and it makes enjoyment in your game less, say it. Even if you
Yeah.
feel like you aren't in a position to say it, go ahead. If it makes you uncomfortable, I don't want to make you uncomfortable. That's the
Yeah.
entire point of the session 0 is making sure that you guys are not only comfortable with playing but are having fun.
Yeah, no, of course.
So go ahead. Sorry if I even cut you off.
Oh
but
no,
forget what you're saying.
no, and that's the thing with me. It's like I don't really know what makes me uncomfortable. I think that was like more I was trying to get.
Okay.
So I guess it's more of a hey, if you just like poke me with a stick and then it's like, oh okay, then yeah, no.
Okay. So
yeah. He's one of those where you have to ask him
Yeah.
after a session, or he'll fucking bring it up with you after.
It
I'm kind of the
has-
same way. I will openly state some things, but if I'm uncomfortable with something, I'll say it. Otherwise, I'm a jar of mayo.
I'm going to need you guys to change that specifically this because the only time I get to actually confront you guys is with session zeros. I would love to every
Mhm.
session check in like, hey, did I do anything wrong? I don't have the time to do that as a DM, especially since this is on Sunday.
Oh
and I
yeah,
have
no.
classes.
Yeah, no, I'll let you know, but yeah, again, just
If you,
To be fair, like you've already hit the main points already.
yeah.
yeah,
So like,
um,
I think you're doing fine. And
if
personally,
Yeah.
the things I'm uncomfortable with, you're already not interested in doing.
yeah,
So keep doing what you're doing, man.
and if none of you feel comfortable with answering this question right now, either in voice or even sharing it around, there's always you can always private message me after the fact it happens or even during it's happening. And also that's what the feedback channel's for and more. Please use it. I would appreciate it a lot. Um, and every single question I'm going to be answering and giving to, I will remind you the feedback section of this channel exists.
Hmm.
Anyways,
Bert
that's my
should
first
have.
question. That's out of my control. If
I'm
everybody's
giving
satisfied
feedback
with,
about the campaign. Okay.
if everyone's satisfied with or comfortable with what they've said so far, and we're done with this point, I'll get to my next question.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, on a way less heavier note, uh, it's somewhat similarly aligned. How do you guys feel about French people?
Oh my god, I can't believe you didn't censor that.
I'm sorry. How do you guys feel about French people? Anyways,
Excellent.
this this question, that's not the full question.
Is the
How
next section of the area going to just end up being Fontaine?
maybe
What is
I
Fontaine?
the new Genshin Impact region. The actual question I was going to ask is, I'm pulling in some new inspiration for
Is
where
it
we're
Fontaine
heading.
related?
Possibly. This also is
Uh-huh.
pertaining to your sort of lore story, your character in general, as you come from Viren. Um, I'm actually basing Viren. I've decided I've been a little up in the air about what Viren's based off of. I just had a general basis of what it's been about. I haven't had like a specific inspiration for it yet. I'm just like, that'd be cool. It's a generic Lord of the Rings style area, but
Elves
not
and French.
specifically Lord of the Rings. It's like Lord of the Rings after the Fellowship of the Rings, besides the humanity being shitty part. Where elves and humans and dwarves were all at least getting along politically. Maybe not, but I've switched that around. That's still the main aspect of it. But for this next section and why this question is taking so long, I'm taking in some new inspiration. Is there anything you guys would like to see? Right now, I have two main inspirations. It is going to be the Anglo-Prussian alliance against Napoleonic France, except if France was included, aka it is inspired by mid 18th century Prussia, Britain, and France.
We're gonna see Napoleon.
Who do you think the short people are?
Yeah,
That's
who do you think Mr. E is?
no, no. I can tell you. All right, I feel like this is a free question. I should just give. The humans are English, just because their names, their last name, royal families make sense as English. Um, Prussia is the dwarves. France is the elves. So,
Hmm.
and if you're wondering, Ziegel, Prussia does include Germany.
I know.
Well, I don't know if you dropped out of geography. Um,
No, I dropped out of geometry.
right. That's you're lying to me because you were an engineer major.
That was such a bad joke.
Um, anyways, so besides just Napoleonic powerhouses, I'm also, of course, gonna be maybe having this is gonna be influenced by Lord of the Rings, but also because it's the new cool thing in Genshin, Fontaine. So there will be French. Is there anything you guys have problems with that? Would you prefer slight modifications to that, or do you want to see other pieces of media inspire, like story aspects and sections of this area, with the idea that it kinda fits, even remotely, fits with Napoleonic powerhouses? Or just think of Napoleon and think if it works with if you would like to see something related to that.
I'm gonna keep it a buck with you, man. I just want a steam. I want to fight a steampunk mech.
Steampunk mech. That's totally. Hey,
How
look,
about a
Font.
steampunk
Look,
dragon?
I'm gonna be honest with you. Fontaine has completely power crept technology in Genshin.
Yo, the group finds an underground ring.
There is
Oh,
actual
I'm aware.
Oh yeah,
If you're
you've seen
saying
it.
Napoleonic powerhouse, I immediately think of a fucking steam-powered ironclad.
Yeah. All right. I'm totally down to introduce some sort of steam powered mech, which
Yo,
we
how
can
about
introduce. If you guys are fine with it, we can push technology a little forward here with Viren being steampunk-ish related. If you're also fine with that yourselves, Eagle.
yeah, I'm cool with it.
Seagull, I asked it because it's pertaining to your character,
I
and
know,
I feel
I know.
disgusting saying that. You're a human.
Plus, like, it doesn't change anything about me. I'm still expert metal worker.
Yep. I'm sorry, I'm taking notes. I'll get to that message if that's Marcia. I don't know how to spell apparently.
Me neither.
All right.
I'm
10
illiterate.
inspired steam power mech fight. All right, maybe even dragoon.
That being
Yo,
said,
Legend of Korra. Yeah, that's something I have definitely. That's a good point. I can lean more into Legend of Korra stuff.
what if
pers-
those French fucks are trying to make their own elder dragon?
Um, you joke, but that's was a plot point in Genshin Samara. Anyways,
Genshin did it
Oh,
first.
baby, let's go. We're getting it in the plot.
I mean, Genshin Samara. I shouldn't say dragon specifically. They did try to make a god though. So what's the difference?
I mean, elder dragons are equivalent to a god. What's up?
Yeah. Korra style. When you say Legend of Korra style, I'm assuming you mean like technology wise. Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah.
I would need to actually. I know you haven't admittedly watched Legend of Korra since I find the show miserable in the first season.
It's technology. It's basically
I know what it
steampunk
is.
that's powered by magic.
I am fully immersed. I am the Atla person, specifically only with Atla though. I think Legend of Korra is questionably written.
Fair.
They just neuter the speciality of the Avatar. The Avatar isn't even that special, in my opinion, in Legend of Korra. But my opinions aside, I'm down for more Legend of Korra style of steampunk instead of Fontaine. I might mesh it together since I'm admittedly very, very biased towards Fontaine, but I'm so down for more Legend of Korra stuff. I love the visual settings. I not somewhat understand the technological jump. I'm still mad about it though. And you get no more. No, I don't shit on Legend of Korra. It's totally fine. It's not 2013, Connor. It's not 2013. It's okay to accept Legend of Korra being existing and
There's worse
written,
shows out there,
written
like the
by
Halo
this.
show.
Yeah, that's a good point.
or
All right, thank
Big
you.
Head.
Oh god, no! Why does that keep getting seasons? God, I
Big mouth, big mouth. It's big mouth. It's big mouth.
Big
I,
Mouth.
I
Oh,
don't fucking, I don't
It's
fucking care.
it deserves to be misnamed. It's such a shit show.
that show.
I-
Okay, here's the thing. That
It's
show
so bad.
genuinely was probably the first thing that actually made me uncomfortable.
I did not like anything about that show. I had a friend in high school who tried to introduce me to the first season. Like, this is so funny. I'm like, no, it's not. Anyways, I've let go of my opinions on Legend of Korra as I have multiple times. I just get flared up every time I think about all the problems with it. All right,
Remember,
so
Axelot, next time you think about
just
it,
ran for
remember,
Halo show.
Halo show.
All right, so we have a steam powered mech fight, maybe even a dragon. And technology wise, we're moving in a Legend of Korra, Fontaine style, steampunk esque, magic punk steam ish effect. Um,
Magipunk, hell yes, I love that type of shit. Magic
uh,
technology, hell yeah.
I don't give your opinion on the misnomenclature of punk. Don't. Okay.
Yeah,
Um.
okay. I know.
All right.
More accurately, what I like is Magitech. Please, for the love of God.
I won't go on a tangent. All right. You got time.
I'm not putting any sort of punk in that.
It's me. No, it's all me. Same with my Legend of Korra stuff. I'm not dissing on anyone. Sorry.
Okay.
I'm on the meds and I get very ranty when I'm on the meds.
Okay.
Back on to topic. Other inspirations you guys want to see? We have steam powered mech fight, dragon fight, steam powered, some sort of man made elder dragon fight. We got Legend of Korra inspiration. Anything else you guys want to see? It can be like themes also. Don't even think about like in game stuff. Like, for instance, if you want to do a heist or something, you like watched a James Bond film recently. You want to do like James Bond story arc or something. This is also a space for story arcs.
Give us our Shadow Wizard money gang.
Yeah,
Give us our shadow government.
Shadow governments can't exist in the current political landscape. I mean, technically, I've already hinted at there being a shadow government for.
Give us our army in the shadows, damn it. Actually, I guess that would just be Koldrak.
Yeah, that's the entirety of the Valkyrie. I've already hinted at that.
Ace Attorney episode.
I might not. I'm not comfortable with court stuff because as you guys have seen, I'm incompetent when it comes to that sort of stuff. I watched Saul Goodman, and that's it. I've seen the Ace Attorney jokes. I played like one of the many thousands of DS games, and that's it. I suck at court stuff. I feel like it would do a disservice. I know it was a joke, but still. As
They're
I already
actually
have.
so good.
They are
like
so
just
good.
watching them, like it's such a good story. And it's
Ace
just
Attorney is so
fun.
good. Ace Attorney is so good. I love it so much. I need to play it more, but I keep forgetting to. It's on my long list of things. Other requests.
I know we're going into French French sort of themed. If there's going to be a lot of rivers, might I suggest a short stint of river piracy?
River piracy. Let's see.
Axelot, I have a big fucking question for you. Especially considering the kind of person you are and what you're about.
What's up?
Where the fuck are our vampires, and why the fuck are we not killing them?
I actually don't think vampires are a good idiom for punk.
I mean, fair. Doesn't have to be in, you know.
And also JoJo, but
yeah, I know. It's because of JoJo.
Okay. We were on the topic of punk earlier.
If I can punch a French vampire, I will die happy.
All right, punching French vampires. We can work that out.
This is a joke. Please don't take that seriously.
All you guys had to do was say French, and I'm down.
Actually, you know what? This is perfect.
Motherfucker.
This is perfect. I get an opportunity to punch that bitch ass twink and not feel bad.
Did you just call Dio a twink?
No, I called Asterion a twink.
Fuck you!
Okay, yeah, actually, yeah, he is a twink.
He's awesome!
Asterion is a twink.
Granted, to be fair, maybe I'm biased because I loved JoJo Part 1.
I haven't watched any JoJo.
Which is probably still the bewilderment to Axelot.
No, it's not. Some people really like JoJo Part 1 and hate the rest of the parts because they throw away such good settings, but that's like every part, though.
Fun. It's just such a fun part.
Yeah, it is a fun part.
Goofy.
May I suggest Araki's earlier works, which haven't been animated?
Oh,
No, don't.
hello.
All right, so
Hi
I
there,
have
baby. Hi.
from the additional questions I've gotten so far, I don't know if I can due to it being in a mountainy region. I might be able to. There's not going to be that many rivers in a mountainy region. There's going to be like
Oh,
one
oh,
major
no,
river.
yeah, okay.
But I can maybe eventually, since I did trains. I can introduce. Okay.
Train
How about
robbery.
this? How about since I've been playing Fontaine, it's a very obvious point out or thing. There is in Fontaine um a a waterway train like system. I've hinted at Carthaxia. It's the place where at least the Valkyrie and the Grand Court sits, is a city like Venice. Uh, as I mentioned, the gondoliers multiple times. Um, how about, since I can't really do it with Viren, how would you guys feel about eventually having a train that runs off of waterway systems heist?
That sounds so based. Fuck yeah.
Sure, I'll be down for that.
Yo, Marcy.
Marcy, are you is that train enough for you?
Marcy, get your ice magic ready. You're gonna have to freeze the water.
Water train. Fontaine water train style
Huh?
heist. All right. And Carthaxia specifically. Since I can't really, like I said, I can't really work it in with the Lord of the Rings style setting. Well, at least the landscape style setting of
Yep.
Viren.
Okay. I've brought up just about everything I need to. I'm going to go.
Okay.
Cool.
I mean, those are the two
I
main
missed
questions
him.
I would need from you guys.
Now we can just ask questions.
I do have other questions I
Thank
need to
you.
ask the rest of the group, but those are the two main ones.
Wait,
I understand why you need to go.
You can just text it to me. Text me all of your questions. I will answer them as I get them.
Thank you. Good luck. I hope your house doesn't lose power.
It would be very bad to spoil that milk I just bought.
It would. Drink it all right now. Do it.
Do it right now.
Yo,
No.
shotgun that gallon of milk.
Shotgun the milk.
I'm not
Shotgun it,
gonna
pussy.
shotgun a gallon of milk. Fuck
Shotgun
off.
it, pussy.
All
God,
right.
he would shit so bad if he did.
Yeah.
Lactose intolerant or not.
I do.
So,
What?
of course you do it. So I've answered the two questions in a row, and not everyone's here, and I need time to write down my questions since I actually haven't written these down. These are just stuff I have in my head to ask you guys. I'll need time to write down my questions. So in the meantime, you guys can have a free for all on questions that you've been.
Oh yeah,
Marinating.
one question that's like low key been marinating in my brain for a very very long time. What
Mhm.
would have happened if we managed to meet the Koldrak that was in Bert's capital city? Like, is that
Yes.
a thing you actually planned, or
So what was going to happen was while those two that were there, the Koldrak and the tall fellow, for some reason I'm forgetting his name, Kirjan.
Oh, right.
Those two were there for purely political reasons. If you guys managed to get them during the one day they were staying there with Red Mace, basically, Koldrak, you guys would have met like in a bar somewhere. Red Mace would be stoned, like fucking drunk as hell, and couldn't even like notice. So Koldrak would have been totally comfortable with just sitting there, passive aggressively talking to the three of you, and you guys would get absolutely nowhere with it. And he would point that out by the end of it, of like, you just wasted a whole day on me. Great
you
job.
wasted 3 hours? What are we doing here?
Yep.
Fuck
And
off already.
What are we doing here? Starting a bar fight?
he would actually vividly prevent you guys from bar fighting through various means of ways I have not shown he has the ability to.
This might be like a little overstepping with questions, but was that Koldrak even a part of the Valkyrie?
Every single character you've met that is related to Koldrak or Kirjan are from the Valkyrie. The ones you've met so far.
Gotcha.
The ones I brought up in the original story too. Not the original story, the introduction story. Feel free. I'm going to stop your questions there, Zeagle. Other people need time to question.
Oh, okay. Actually, here I just thought of this one. What would Marvaroth have been put in as well to court if they had found out he had a contract as well?
Yes,
Oh,
100%. That would have been interesting for me to deal with.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I didn't fully think that there. I was hoping that you would keep your mouth shut or forgot.
I really forgot. I'm gonna be honest.
So I am very happy that that happened. What most likely was going to happen, I need to find a way to still. I would find a way to still get Ava out of the system. It would be really hard though, since you're Dragonborn, and since that's a big deal, of course. Yeah. Short answer. Good question. I was scared.
Thank God I had forgotten.
Speaking of the trial,
Wow.
was you just making the court lingo different just to piss me off?
Yes.
I know.
Oh, okay. Initially, when you were arrested and said you were going to get a defendant, that was definitely a slip up. But then I'm like, it pissed her off. I'm going to go with it all the way. I slipped up. I used the wrong word because I was thinking of like you can hire if you want, if you need someone to defend you, and then I slipped it up, and then you're like, that's not how you use it. I'm like, oh hell yeah, this is gonna be fun. The whole it was gonna be introduce some great role playing moments here. So yes, and
I knew
technically
it.
now,
Use your
and
own
technically now.
Use your own tactics.
It was gonna use it regardless.
I know. Hey, it wasn't.
Is that-
It wasn't if you didn't show that it got under your skin real quick.
No, he would have been like, okay, I'm rolling with it. I know he would have.
I definitely would have.
Ah.
So this next is that all the questions you guys have? Since I'm starting to catch up with what I'm about to ask.
Trying to think, but at the moment I don't really have anything. I'm trying to remember through everything.
How pre-planned was the court?
Let me roll back here and check. Some of this stuff is old stuff that relatively old stuff that I'm like. Ugh.
Considering like half of it was like being used to write Ava out of the story, I would assume it was very planned.
Some like I'm guessing you're specifically asking about the court session itself, though, right, Marcy?
Just everything about it.
Well, very much so. Basically all of you but Bert were supposed to go on trial. I had a feeling I need to somehow get Marvaroth on trial because I think it'd be funny. It technically worked.
It technically worked.
He wrote the content himself. It's fine.
He wrote it himself. I was happy. That's why I purposely let you free in the city to do that. I was hoping you burn. I hope you accidentally burned down the library instead, but you know.
God forbid Marva fucking delivered you the content, my guy.
Yeah.
And
I did plan on there being most of that whole arc besides the actual sessions themselves. Those were all the court sessions were mainly improv. The city was supposed to go into disaster mode due to one of you eventually. I'm gonna be real with you guys. It was gonna happen. I know how all four of you play. It was gonna happen. The city would go in chaos eventually. You guys don't meld well with modern society. A idiom of modern society in the college system.
Okay, now I had to ask. In some fucked up universe. What would have happened had we not done that?
I would be very disappointed, and that whole session would be very uneventful.
Yeah.
So instead, you got the Halo Flood apocalypse. Gotcha.
Yeah, yeah. I'm really happy with. I took that whole. I took the Marcy being able to produce a mini Marcy freely. I'm like, this is going plate. I can do this. I can.
You
I
took
have a new way to destroy the city.
you took my generosity. You turned it into a monster.
He also took
Yes.
my joke and turned it into a monster.
Yes. So
Marvel.
that is also a lesson in that I can melt every single one of your actions in any way. But
No, it was perfect. No.
I am glad. It sounds like you all enjoyed it, anyways.
It was really a lot of fun. I was just it was just like it was like turn after turn after turn. Felt like none of us knew what was gonna happen next.
And that's exactly what I wanted out of that little aside. All right.
I think my favorite part was
Keep
just
your questions.
Oh,
Keep your
damn it.
questions to Rambaram. Write them down because I know some of you will forget. So this next set of questions are related to homebrew rules, because D&D 5e is a boring system that doesn't have fully fleshed rules. It is basically just a skeleton besides combat. So we're also going, and the combat itself is questionable. And if Bert was here, Dale was here, he would be like, "We should switch," and I'm gonna be like, "No, we're not switching systems, especially since uh, one D&D looks miserable still, and I would have to write more. We can find. I might be able to find a way to introduce the new characters into D&D 5e since most of them work with the current rule sets. And we might, when it comes out, I might test the waters with the new weapon mastery stuff. But for now, one D&D is a no-go. We are not switching. I'm not satisfied with the Unearthed Arcanas they've been releasing for it. It's questionable design choice. They have failed to make marshals any more efficient. In fact, they've kind of just made some of the spellcasters usable and made the strong ones stronger. So
clerics.
Settle
they've
down,
actually
you
balanced.
freak.
They've actually balanced clerics. Actually, it feels like they've balanced them a little bit. They're no longer the best spellcasters. It's definitely wizards. Wizards are so fucking overpowered now. Even
Yeah,
if they've
it's all
lost the ability to
wizards.
crit.
It's called Wizards of the Coast, my guy. Come on.
Yeah,
They're
they
shit at the strongest.
Wizards of the Coast. Let me tell you, as a Magic player, that's not the kid. They don't care. They only care about power fantasy. Anyways, so since we're moving away from 1D&D, I would like to implement some homebrew rules that I wanted them to introduce. So alongside the new homebrew, the pre-existing homebrew rules, which I have somewhere, I think in fact I have them in one of the channels. I forget where. I have the homebrew rule book in the channel, one of the channels somewhere. I'm going to. It's in shared notes. Scroll up, you'll find it at Sleepy Axolot's DM House Rulings PDF. I will be updating it after this session 0, so I can ask you guys for some new ones and how you feel about them. So, first and foremost, now that I've got all that long spiel out of the way, as a semi-explanation to, we're not doing 1D&D reminder, we're not switching systems, we're staying in 5e. And also, homebrew rules. So, how do you guys feel about the new inspiration system? We haven't really used it a lot.
Yeah, I sure
Guys-
wasn't able to.
How do you guys feel so far?
I like it. I think my only concern is like what's happening right now. It's like when we aren't able to use it in like funny ways. Either if we can't see it, either if we just don't think it's like a good time to use it or something.
I think it's fine. My only problem with it currently is you definitely don't give inspiration out enough to warrant the like losing it at the end of a session.
I've given it since I've introduced the rule inspiration 75% of the time.
Fair enough.
Yeah, no,
So don't look back. This ruling, I'm asking specifically of everything after this ruling's been introduced, which you guys haven't been using, and that's why I'm kind of asking now. Is like, hey, how do you guys feel about it? Because I think the way I see it, I'm encouraging you guys to just slap your fucking inspiration on things as soon as you can use them.
yeah.
There's two ways I can. I think for today, I'm going to give it for sessions being cut short. I'm moving forward. If the session is too short, in my opinion, or not enough happened, not enough rolling,
Hmm.
I'm going to say, hey, it's not going away.
Yay!
Yeah,
You guys feel free to ask that also. Feel free to be like, hey, I felt like we didn't do enough this session. Can we keep our inspiration for next week?
yeah, I
Yeah,
like that.
That's fair.
Yeah, that's fair. That would be my only concern. But yeah, no, I like that.
You only get a 1 week extension though, since, like I said, this ruling is supposed to encourage you guys to use inspiration. Since you've not used it, some of you, I've given it to 4 times, and
Yeah,
you already had one.
One of these days I'll get inspiration. I just got to be funnier.
gotta start the apocalypse.
I can't believe how funny.
You don't even have to be funny. You just had to be the most notable action of that session. It just so happens that last few sessions have been not a lot, but abilities to make jokes.
All I know how to serve up are fucking nothing burgers.
It's all they are is just mayo.
Extensions, short sessions. This is another rule I was thinking of. If alongside, at least for this week, we'll test it out for next week to see how it goes. The week after that, I want to introduce if everyone. Instead, if this doesn't go around, I want to see and test out for at least one session. Maybe it's a one shot. Tell me if you prefer this to be in a one shot or a small campaign in the future at one point. Another way I want to approach this inspiration, if it doesn't go down well, is what people call hero tokens. It's like inspiration; it replaces the current inspiration system, but at the start of it, at the start of every session, everybody has one hero token. It acts similar to rules is written inspiration. You get to add. I'm gonna say you get to add a d6. I think I'm half split between a d8 and a d6 to an additional roll instead of an advantage. But the catch with hero tokens is you can use that on other people's rolls if you want. For instance, it's a way to one-time use. This would also replace the. I'm not also satisfied with the current assist system I have. It's a little too mathy. So if you want to really assist on a very important role, you can say, "Hey, I want to use my hero token to help you out. I rolled a blank, right?" And that's part of it. Everyone gets one at the start of the session, disappears at the end of the session. You don't get to stack them up; they're not stackable. You can use them to assist. You can use them on your own rolls, but also if the party ever so chooses. I don't remember what other people did, but there some variants of this rule say if everyone agrees and decides, they can put all your tokens into one go, and it does something special. Like and it would be a power of friendship moment of being like, hey, we all decide that this time for this turn only I'm pretty sure this is what they used to be kind of ridiculous. We all take our turn at the same time, and we all get to change the round of inspiration for one turn or something. There's other cooler stuff. Some people suggest that I don't like, which is just, hey, we put all of our tokens together to all knock this enemy out at the same time.
Which is lame.
It's
as
lame. It's
fuck.
lame, easy, and you guys would just I have a feeling that it would just evolve eventually on combat sessions. Just everybody keep their tokens. We're gonna knock out one enemy for free. I find that boring.
He's gonna be the bitch of the group right now.
You
How do you
assume
guys?
I'm going to be that person.
Well,
How
yeah,
either
but
way,
you would need all 4 people to agree to do it.
I know there was other ways, other rules I can think about if we do this in the future. But how do you guys feel about a system like that?
Yeah,
I think
and
that would be fun.
I've
It
actually
would
seen the
replace
system.
inspiration.
Oh
I've
yeah.
seen the system you're talking about. It definitely sounds better than current inspiration.
You guys haven't also used current inspiration, and
Yeah.
current inspiration, is full on advantage on any roll you want.
Yeah.
If you guys have, if you want me to also introduce that whole, if you wanted to give it to other people, I can do that now.
I feel like we don't do enough per session to allow such a system to occur.
That's why I'm also asking now. It's like, it's this, these two things are based off how you play the game, because, and how I lay out my sessions, which is role play, combat, role play,
We're
role play, role play.
extremely dialogue heavy.
Yeah, dialogue heavy, role, like inspiration heavy. It's really dependent on. It's also going to be my next question is, which is actually I probably should have asked when Bert was here, but this one's an easy one, and I'll just tally up the votes and even it out in that way. That's my next question. We can put a pause on the homebrew stuff. And after that question, I'll allow one more round of vibe check to see if we want to get back to the game, because I know this is a little bit longer than I promised. I said. How long have we been at this? Only an hour. Only an hour right now, actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
But we're exactly 1 hour, as I said. So
We have
let's
like
get to
another
the
20 minutes at least.
next question. Let's get to the next question. And we'll get back to the homebrew rules, as I said. And to get back to how you guys feel about the inspiration system, since it doesn't sound like the conversation's over. How do you guys feel right now about the current balance between battle versus dialogue? Do you want more to give you some ideas of what I'm looking for here? Do you want the frequency of combat sessions to increase? Do you just want very small combats, combats that are quick, easy, over, that don't take that long? For instance, weaker enemies that you guys just fucking destroy, and more often. Not that it's going to be the only type of combat. If we do something like that, there will be boss combats, of course, that will take a session. But do you guys want more intermittent combat, where like maybe once a session or every other dialogue session we do a small combat? That takes maybe a turn or two because the enemies are admittedly weaker, easier to hit, less health pool, just for the sake of moving through combat. Or do you guys want the more combat sessions, period?
I feel like as long as the combat's started naturally. If it's just impromptu fighting, then I don't know. I feel like that'd be too much.
My two piece of it is actually that combat is fine, but it does start sucking when combat just drags on for a little too long. Like sometimes when we have a combat that lasts for 4 hours, it's
Yeah,
like, oh god, oh fuck.
Yeah, I've moved. I'm going to definitely move away from the more than 8 enemies style of combat. I'm definitely. I have looking at my current planned random and planned encounters. There's only like an encounter that has 8 people.
Gotcha.
Admittedly, not even 8 people. It's 7. I definitely need a shortened combat. I will admit I tested out last session with it being more deadly, but also just 2 enemies. That's also something you can talk about right now. Is how do you guys have felt about combat so far? What do you like about it, what I've done so far? What you don't like about it so far? Not only just combat to dialogue sessions and how you would feel about them, but anything combat, anything related to that. This question is combat oriented. Um, any gripes, any requests?
Personally, I do actually like the short and sweet and very lethal combat encounters because D&D combat sucks.
It does suck. And that's one of the main reasons why I wanted to get this session 0 down is because we're now at level 11. The next, we get a massive power jump now, and we get a massive power jump next. These 11 and 12 are very important levels in D&D combat, and it makes combat so different. And you guys are starting to feel its effect even with level 10.
Yeah.
That is the story to come with level 10 combat, as you felt. And that's also why I'm not sure if you noticed. A lot of combat over the course of level 10 was very different every time.
Absolutely.
But yeah.
But yeah, my personal preference for combat in general will be like short and sweet is my personal preference.
Okay.
Combat that just lingers for too long is like, ugh. Let's get back to the role play. Let's get back to the fun stuff.
And to specify, you are also perfectly. Would you say you enjoy the super lethality of last session's short combat?
Yeah, that was
Okay.
fun. Plus, like, admittedly, like, kind of know, like, yeah, our characters aren't in super danger. It's fine
Yeah.
that we're both knocked on like the second round of combat. It's fine.
I will preface. I'm going to ask that to everyone. I am not going to kill your characters if I think what I'm doing is actually unfair. Like the sleep stuff. That's why none of those posters said only dead. So.
Plus, you're not gonna be lame and kill our characters on a fucking nothing burger encounter.
Yeah,
with some
I will.
random schmucks in the forest.
Yeah, no, that counter was never gonna kill you guys, at all.
If you're killing us during a boss fight. That's when the
I'm
gloves
killing
come
you
off.
during. I might even kill you guys during a mini boss. I'll be honest, but it has to feel like a very. The only time you guys will be in deadly situations is if you make really dumb decisions in roleplay, like really, really dumb, or it's you have no safeties on story related combat. None. I'm not holding back.
Kitty gloves are off, bro.
At this point, I can't. You guys are too lethal.
Absolutely.
And random encounters, they should feel fun. They should be a break in dialogue, So, Kina, have you settle your likes and dislike about current combat? All right, so Marcy, Marv, who wants to go next? Because I'm going to need answers from both of you on this one.
Give your 2 cents on combat. Come on.
I really enjoyed the combat during the last session. It felt I liked how we had more of like a combination of both the talking and also with like the lethal shit. You know, when Bert got like what was it, 80 hit points done to him.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Okay.
2 rounds of combat.
Yeah, in 2 rounds of combat. Yeah, so yeah, no, I liked how you did that.
All right. How do you feel? Okay, you've answered lethality. You like the dialogue inside the combats. How do you? This is a safe place. They will judge you. Don't worry, but that doesn't matter. How do you feel about
Gay people.
Gotta hate gay people.
How do you feel about the larger scale combats? Because Tina has said she doesn't like them. How do you like them? I'm talking the wolf stuff. I'm talking stuff in the background.
How'd you like 36 enemy wolf encounters?
How do you like, if you remember, how do you also like the I think one to bring up and remind you guys about, since the two of you so far have seemed to like the lethal combat. How do you feel about the cannon combat way back in Yadramel, if you remember that? when you guys were running up the hill shortly after Maki left. You ran up the hill towards the large cannon that was firing down upon the city, and you all were going to take it out. And you guys actually failed because they were really lethal. How do you
I-
guys feel? How do you
I-
feel about that?
I like that. I like that we were kind of losing because it made it feel a little bit better. In a it felt a lot better because it didn't feel like we were just like we were always gonna win. It was.
Yeah.
I like that when I really like that when afterward, because I mean I hated it that we lost, but afterwards when I was just like rethinking everything, I was like I kind of like that we did lose because it just felt more natural. We weren't like these power. It's not like in video games where you can just go and just beat up everyone.
Mhm.
So
You
Okay.
could have.
Bag bunch
and
of schmuck.
yeah, and I felt like it really added more to the story.
Okay, so I all right. So I forgot to summarize yours, Hina. So I'll start with yours. I have this summarized on my as on my notes. Is this Hina? You prefer super lethal short combats. Don't go too long. I think that's pretty sums up what. Do you agree?
Yeah.
Okay.
Nothing
Hey,
that overstays its welcome.
okay. Don't. My keyboard has stopped working. Oh. Keyboard. Hello.
Keyboard has demanded right.
This is not good.
Yo, computer crashing. It's frozen.
No,
It's not
it's
responding.
my mouse is working, but my keyboard. Oh, there it is. Why does Google Docs do that? Okay, I need to refresh my Google Docs. It's not liking my keyboard. I'm so sorry. This is kind of stalling right now. Overstay welcome with combats. All right, so Marv, this is what I have with you so far, and please correct me if you
Okay.
Rizzo. Please correct me if you want to clarify something
Yeah.
or add something on. You like the dialogue in the middle of combat.
Mm-hmm.
That's something you like with specific. You like there being more dialogue instead of just quietness.
Yeah.
Then you like the sense of vulnerability. You
Yeah.
like seeing the party feeling like they are mortal, but and having a sense of danger to not to kill you, but to make you feel like there is urgency.
Yes.
Sense of urgency. All right. Anything else you'd like to add or change about that?
Probably the sense of urgency that's like if we do stay, yeah, we are gonna like totally die.
Marv, there's a bomb strapped to me. Marv! Marv, you gotta get the wire. Marv, you gotta cut the wire. I heard them say it's the red wire. I heard them say it's the red wire.
Bag of holding.
Like sense of vulnerability,
Yeah.
sense of urgency, especially. Okay, so I need to figure out how to word this to make it make sense on my notes for me.
I guess like
It's a sense of urgency, sense of urgency, especially
if like maybe if like if we
they
do
need to run.
yeah, it's like if we continue this, there is the like we are going to die. I think it
Okay.
like kind of goes like with what you were saying, like if we were just like being stupid, you're just gonna
Yeah.
kill off our characters.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
All
that.
right. So, so of course, likes dialogue, likes the sense of vulnerability, for likes feeling vulnerable for the sense of urgency, especially for the factor of being able to run away, to be able to retreat.
Yeah.
For the ability to retreat. All right. So, Marcy,
Yep.
how do you feel about the last few areas of combat? What do you like? What do you dislike? Since it's a theme so far, how do you feel about super lethality? I called that last one super lethality, in my opinion, because you guys went down really fast. How do you feel about that style of combat?
Yeah, it's good.
All right. So also fine
If we had 3 of those
with
combats
super.
in a single day, we'd definitely be dead.
Oh god, no! I am not doing more than one of those combats.
Here's the
That
thing,
was-
yeah.
That was a
Those super,
lethal session.
any
And
super lethality fights are gonna leave me on the ground dead, regardless. So I mean,
and don't worry, you will get your health back. It's happening
glad-
very soon.
I'm going to be crafty regardless, and that's
Either
what
way,
makes
yeah.
the
Or
fights
you
fun
help.
for me.
Okay.
Is that I'm able to be crafty, and I basically make my own fun regardless of whatever you do.
Yeah. And
That's the fun of Marcy.
for combat to be okay, so I'm gonna ask more about two things: the craftiness, but then first I'm also gonna ask about what you said earlier of combat being more. What's the word you used earlier? I'm also forgetting the word. Period. When entering
Organic.
combat, it has to be organic. Yes. What parts, besides it just being organic, is there any times you felt like, damn, this is stupid. Why are we fighting?
Let's see. No, none so far.
All right, that's good. I was worried there for a second. Like, did I fuck up somewhere? Was like, did you not like the fact that the werewolf tracked you guys down or something?
What I got confused by, the only fight I got confused by was probably like the fight in the middle of the desert right before he went to Koldrak's camp.
Right before you okay, so this is before we went to the camp. Like this
Yeah.
wasn't the camp fight itself. This was
Yeah, the camp fight was good. Because I fucking got downed by a unicorn.
Oh, that one,
It was the
yes.
one before where we got fought by just like marauders in the desert that were probably associated with Koldrak.
Oh,
But
Oh,
yeah.
that one.
Okay, so
I wasn't there for that session.
gotcha.
oh yeah, you
Um,
were asleep,
You
fucker.
were asleep the whole time.
Yeah, I was like,
What are we talking about?
We're talking about it was a very forgettable fight. It was also now I'm thinking about very unorganic. I agree. Before you guys went to the hidden Valkyrie camp that only Koldraks are running.
Oh yeah,
You guys are
that-
being tracked by marauders the whole time, and I didn't really allude to it at all. I was like, because you guys kept failing your perception checks. I'm like, it'll be fun if they just get ambushed, and it wasn't. So
I was fine with the fight. I was able to have fun by posing
yeah.
on top of a dude.
Yeah, but the fact that it was kind of felt out of the middle of nowhere, I'm guessing.
Yeah, fair. Yeah.
Is that what? Don't agree with me. Say your opinion.
It was
Okay.
a bit inorganic, but like
Okay.
I said, I'm always able to make my own fun.
it definitely.
Combat.
I will agree that like it definitely didn't feel like we were being tracked because it felt more like we stumbled on a camp. More than
It felt like we found them instead of they found us.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. So well, they
But, like,
prefer
we
combat to be
haven't
organic.
had-
Make.
we haven't had anything like that. So like ever since.
Yeah,
Don't worry too much about it.
just like a
and
one-time thing.
That is the point of this is for me to worry about things. Don't tell me not to worry. That's why I'm asking questions.
Shut up, Axelot. You had one shitty encounter, or at
It
least
wasn't even that shitty.
hey. Look, here's the thing.
Shitty.
Organically shitty is a way. Inorganically shitty sudden combats are a way for me to balance. All right.
So true, Breasty.
So I am also knowing that you guys don't like suddenly, suddenly you guys get for instance, if last session I didn't allude to that rock area being currently occupied at all, if I didn't point out if you guys didn't find the glass, didn't hear the thump or anything, or E didn't say anything about it, you was like going along, I'm guessing you guys would feel really bad if I was like making you guys just remember ages ago that you were found, that one of you saw someone in the forest.
True.
So that's
you've definitely gotten a lot better with your Chekhov's gun.
so that's the word I was looking for.
Chekhov's gun?
Make combat flow make combat be flowed into, kind of like, don't question why my brain works like this. If this doesn't make sense to you, it makes sense to me. Kind of like Chekhov's gun. I wouldn't say foreshadowing.
I'd say foreshadowed.
No, I don't like foreshadowing. Foreshadowing would be me alluding it to, without saying anything directly. Like I said, this is how I think, and it works for my notes.
If you want to see some good examples of Chekhov's gun, look at it. Look at Attack on Titan. Say what you want about it, but it is good at using Chekhov's gun.
Anyways, so, and then the other thing I want to ask to you, Marcy, about what you've said so far, craftiness. So, of course, you make combat as you want to yourself,
Yep.
and that's I'm happy you do that. I'm not saying I'm going to interfere. I'm asking now if you would like there to be some sort of built-in form in combat to, for instance, you guys have to figure out, like the first time you play Monster Hunter, figure out the weakness. You know, like some sort of like way for you to feel crafty in combat that is already pre-formulated into the encounter. How do you feel about that?
That could work. Like for some encounters.
So it doesn't work on all encounters. What specifically are you thinking of, like that you have a gripe with built-in craftiness? Do you
Like,
okay?
are you
Do
talking
you
about like a weak point
not
in
even just weak points, like pre-existent, yeah, like I introduce like allude to a part of it can be you guys finding a weak point. I can allude to it's part of the combat arena being abusable in the fight to give you an advantage.
Yeah, that sounds
Um,
fun.
there's also, if I set up stuff like that every combat of the something is unique in every combat, and you got to be crafty to figure out how to give yourself an advantage. But the downside would be that you would always have to get that advantage. You would have to be crafty no matter what. It would have
Yeah,
to be every combat's a puzzle basically. Besides just pre-existing.
that's fun.
Everybody else agree with that? Everybody think that's cool? Any gripes against that? I did
I'm fine
specifically
with
lay
it.
down the ground rule of
I like
you
that.
will be at a disadvantage if you don't find the gimmick of the combat.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Because I was thinking like if we do that, it would build into the super lethality. It would be a way to basically nerf the super lethality and make them more vulnerable
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
certain encounters. Okay. So,
Some
got a lot of
encounters you could
questions.
also like weave it into the environment, so
Yeah,
that way you
that's
don't have to rely entirely on descriptions.
yeah, that's what I was going for there. So, like, the ability to be crafty combat, give more opportunities built into combat.
If you give me an Azure Rathalos, I will leave this campaign.
What?
Like the ability to be crafty in combat, give more opportunities built into combat to gain advantage. Okay, so I think I'm gonna go over your summary here. If you want me to clarify, change or add anything, please do. Uh, so for you, Marcy, I have you're also fine with the super lethality of last combat. You like the ability to be crafty in combat. I need to give more to lean into that. I should move into giving the group more opportunities in combat to gain advantage through various means and ways that you all get to figure out throughout combat. And you would prefer combat to be more organic, making the flow of moving into combat more like Chekhov's gun or foreshadowing, as you preferred.
I also think another fun thing would be more status effects, like sleep.
Okay, you like status effects in combat.
Yeah, I think it
Afflicted.
particularly worked well towards making the situation at the end of last session.
All right, and I'm guessing when you say more stats effects, of course, since you could use them yourself, you're talking about me applying stats effects to the party.
Yes.
All right. How do you everyone else feel about that? I
I'd be
won't.
fine with it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. That is all my combat questions out of the way. We have not finished the homebrew stuff, but vibe check. Because, man, this has been over an hour. I said it would be an hour.
Vibing.
How do you guys feel? Because this is a question to if we want to continue with more,
I'm not
more of
gonna,
the session 0 stuff or going back to the session or ending it.
not gonna lie, I'm kind of falling asleep. I
Do
don't.
you think that maybe heading back to the session would wake you up or no?
Um,
We're at a place where Bert doesn't necessarily have to be here for
I feel
it.
like Bert's necessary.
I actually do not know. I can probably just wake myself up pretty good.
Just rail a line of caffeine. It'll be fine.
From what we've discussed,
Dude,
Marcy,
why does
without
someone get a
alluding
gun?
to
He wants
with-
Chekhov's gun.
without alluding to what we discussed to do what you talked about, why do you think Bert's necessary? I think we can get away without him.
I don't know. I like. I mean, like I've always felt sad whenever Bert's like was muted, unable to
Yeah.
voice his shit. I think it's just like
I do
listen, Marv is the kind of not able to
Yeah, no.
be a dominant voice in discussion.
Yeah, no. Honestly, I can't, and that's
Rizzo's
also.
a brick.
I think also that's just as well as just me because this is my still my first time playing D&D, so it's like I've never really done
Yeah.
anything like
Brother.
this before.
Yeah,
Brother.
it's been years.
Yeah.
We've been playing for 2 years.
Have we really?
Yeah,
Yes.
I don't think you can say this is my first time anymore.
Yeah, no,
This is
I
my
think
first
at this-
campaign.
At
it's just
this
your
rate,
character.
But, like, you should be comfortable at this point.
I
You should be. At this rate, you should you start to if you still feel like you're still lost, I would suggest consuming more D&D content if you're down. There's also many various
rotate him
different
out.
ways. No,
Sure.
unless you want to
What was that? LSD?
rotate you out, aka replace you temporarily.
Oh no, no, I'm fine. No, I'm fine.
I was not the one who suggested that. Hina, point your
I'm-
ire at Hina.
I'm teasing.
I mean, if you want me out of the campaign, that's fine.
No,
You
no.
know, you know?
What?
Shut
Yo,
the
you
fuck
guys
up.
can-
I was joking.
All right, this beef is not to do with me. All right. Mom and Dad are fighting again. All right, so
Yeah, Marv is not a dominant voice.
No, I'm not. I
Hey,
mean, I can
so,
agree with that. I'm not a very
I will-
dominant voice.
I will say before we get back to the session, I did have one last lower question.
hey, stop there. It sounds like Rizzo, you don't feel confident returning back to the session right now. Is that correct? And you feel
No,
like you don't
I
want-
can get back in. I can
Okay.
get back. If we get back
Marcy.
into it, I'm probably gonna start waking up again.
Okay, Marcy.
Yeah, it's just
Wait.
I feel like the group dynamic may be one-sided.
I can start
Also, I like
Push.
Bert seeing my cool shit.
with how we've been with what we've planned. I have a feeling that we'll be perfectly a-okay.
Yeah, okay.
If you want me to convince you, I can, but I think I'm alluding well enough to convince
Yeah.
you. Yeah.
I don't know, I
And-
like having Bert react to my cool shit, but whatever.
Don't
guess.
worry. Rizzo,
Mhm.
you'll know when we talk about it. Do you want this for Bert's sake? I have a feeling I also agree with that.
Oh, do you? Oh, for Bert's sake? Yeah, no, I'm fine with that as well. I do like when Bert is here though too.
I will admit this next part, Marcy and I did talk about something specifically. Marcy seems to really want it. How do you guys feel about that?
I'm
we
down
can
for
wait
it.
The problem is, remember, Hina's might not be here next week.
Oh, that's
It is sadly a very real possibility.
Yeah.
Maybe
So
I can go to Starbucks to bring some internet back home.
that's kind of my. I kind of want to put. I'm kind of citing for continuing the session right now because Hina's not going to be here next week, and I'm not sure when the next time
Of
he's going to
course.
be
Mhm.
here. And that's kind of my opinion.
I'm-
Weighing it to if Bert's not here, he's not going to be here next week for it either.
Yeah.
So
I'm down for.
Very, very high possibility I will not be here next week.
I'm
Yeah.
down for either.
Marcy?
I am down for either too.
Okay. And since Tina and I think both agree that we want to do the session.
I guess like
I know.
would it be like I guess my question would be like, how would y'all be if Marcy wasn't here for our session?
What do you
You're
mean
gonna
by
be
that?
what? You're gonna be here.
What do you mean by that?
Yeah, you're gonna be here.
Like if my character just or me myself. I feel like Bert is just like when you miss too much, you get out of the loop and you get less
That
fun in the.
has been happening a lot recently. I will agree now. I think about it, but I have keep in mind I do have this next part of the session set up to be missable technically, but it depends on how you feel about what we've talked about being missable.
Of course, yeah.
And the more we talk about this, the shorter either continuing questions will be or the session.
I say leave it up to y'all too. I'm fine.
Okay. Tina, I'm guessing you're gonna decide on playing.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just want to savor it. Damn it.
Yeah, no,
all
I
right.
get
So
I did have one lore question though.
don't worry. I'm gonna say everyone gets maximum 2 more questions.
Okay.
And we can continue. Hey, Marv, are you recording this actually?
Yeah.
I actually kind of prefer if this whole session 0 thing is cut unedited throughout the thing, but just cut around so I can honestly watch it myself.
Yeah, sure. I can send you the link.
Send it to me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It'll
that'd
be
be great.
It'll be
Just
sent
the
up on.
sessions.
Yeah. Actually, all the sessions just got uploaded to my second channel.
All of them? Sick.
Yeah, they're all unlisted. Here, let me get the.
If you can get that, yeah, I would actually.
There's a playlist.
Really like this session 0 because not only for the sake of me, but I think some of these questions you guys might want to return to, and I might push Bert to listening to. So don't worry about that now. If I'll remind you tomorrow if need be, if you haven't sent it by the end of the session, so we can get these questions out of the way. Let's go. So 2 more questions each, everybody.
Okay.
Dibs on first.
Okay. So we'll go Ziegel, Marvroth, Marcy, Ziegel, Marmroth, Marcy. So, and I'm getting back in D&D right now. So
Then we'll go back to Ziegel. Then we go Marcy. Then Ziegel, Marvroth.
Marvroth,
Ziegel.
Ziegel, Marvroth, Ziegel.
Thank you.
No, I love red versus blue.
So my question was, so I was looking through my notes and something that I stumbled across, and I'm gonna say it right now. The question I'm gonna ask is extremely greedy, and I'm probably not gonna get it, and I'm
most
ready
likely.
for that.
All right, as long as you know that this will use your question.
Yep.
If you're unsatisfied with the answer, all right, go ahead.
So there was a moment that I wrote down. Koldrak doesn't know where Ava is anymore and is pissed. That is a note that I remember writing. And so my question is, why does the Valkyrie care about losing track of Ava?
Can I answer this?
Can you answer that? Because I'm pretty sure this is from the like special.
This was from the intro to Act 1, as Act 2, as I'm gonna call it. Oh man, the problem with me answering that question, everything that's set up in there is either going to be kind of like, oh, that makes sense. Besides the bounty so far, of course. Way later on in Act 2, or even at the beginning of Act 3, when you guys actually do start getting more closer to Carthaxia, and of course, since you're getting closer to Carthaxia, more into Valkyrie stuff. But that's a long way out. I think, and knowing that this is being recorded, this is information I will give, even though Bird is not here. I feel really bad. I had to do it though, since we aren't gonna get this answer. If I was to remember this and remember to keep note of this for the next few months, it would be months from now. I would answer this months from now, maybe even half a year. With my current plans of where Valkyrie is taking place in the story, because that's end game stuff, where you guys are directly dealing with them and are going to be able to ask, that specific Koldrak, why he's pissed about that. So knowledge that this is being pre-recorded, and feel free if any of you feel like this is important enough to let Bert know, or like I said, I'm going to try and push Bert to do this, look at the session 0 stuff, since I don't have to write down questions. So the reason why the Valkyrie, I'm not even gonna do role play here. I'm just gonna straight say it. The reason why the Valkyrie are pissed about Ava being gone is because she was one of the 4 members of the original group. The original group is very important to the current timeline, the one you're in right now, because you were the precursors of the current one. And that goes into some other stuff I'll get to later on, and why the precursors, you guys being the original group being precursors, is important. I did allude to something related to that in the intro to Act 2. But due to you being a precursor, as I will label the original 4 now, including you, Marvroth, they require the 4 of you to basically I had to dance around words.
It's a ritual. They need us for a magic ritual.
They don't need you for a magic ritual. It is more for protection. They need you for the precursors, the original group, for protection. And that's why those questions were asked at the intro to Act 2, is because they all relate to the precursors.
Gotcha.
That's why they were so pissed that they've lost Ava. And I probably should have asked this beforehand, since you got rid of Ava on purpose. How do you feel about Ava not returning, but continuing to be talked about? I think we talked about this before, but I need to recheck in.
I'm fine with it.
All right. Like I said, no need to come back as the character.
Yep. I'm managing my emotions with Maki, and I'm slowly separating Ava from Maki.
All right.
And yeah.
We'll leave it at that. As long as you're okay with me and comfortable with me continuing to bring up Ava as the story goes along, that's all I'll do. All right. So that's all the answers you're getting related to why Koldrak specifically was so pissed about it. And as you can see, the tone compared to where we are now, compared to that, is very different. And that's why I'm answering it now, because that tone is way out there. So,
slight nitpick question.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Is it a nitpick related to that?
No.
Do you feel comfortable being your second one? Oh, pronunciations.
Yeah. You pronounce it Valkyrie. Is that
Valkyrie
intentional, or is that your accent?
Valkyrie. I'm pronouncing it Valkyrie on purpose. I'm not pronouncing it Valkyrie. I know how to say Valkyrie. I'm pronouncing Valkyrie because it is, instead of Y's, it is 2 J's.
Yeah, and he pronounces attorney as defendant.
Shut the fuck up.
I purposely, unless I automatically correct myself, I always, when I pronounce something, that's the way that's the reason the character is.
So
that's the way it's pronounced.
How do you spell Valkyrie?
Let me Control C, Control V. So it's consistent throughout the notes, and I don't somehow make a fourth. I've rewritten this word so many times. And let me tell you, this word, extra add-on since it's lore, I guess. Um, this word is actually not based off Valkyrie. It's
Gotcha.
a Google translation jarbled mess that I added extra letters to. And after I didn't even realize
That it
uh
has such massive similarities.
yeah, for a few until I started like writing down how to pronounce, I'm like, oh shit. Now I'm gonna look like a lazy DM. There you guys go, Valkyrie. It's not two J's, and I was about to create another my fifth
Another
one. All
another
right,
fork in the code.
that's how to write down Valkyrie. And once again, if you guys need to ask that, that's another time. We'll get to it later. So first question for Siegel, Rizzo,
The wolf, the werewolf thing.
Wolf.
That was my
Mhm.
question. What kind of like what was the purpose of it, and what kind of information would we have gone out of it had I used that spell of like talk to the
So
dead?
okay, so the purpose of it, I've since my original intentions with that fight was supposed to be. I hinted at the werewolf got away the first time in the
Yeah.
desert. I'm like, I don't like that werewolf just being out there after you guys fought it. I have a feeling, in my opinion, a werewolf should be vengeful.
Yeah.
They should always go after the ones that you guys fucking slaughtered his pack.
Made him
You,
look like a clown.
I made him look like a clown. You butchered him. You know, if it was a long combat. You guys destroyed him, and I'm like, I'm not comfortable with letting that sit. He's going to be so vengeful. He's going to follow you guys through a whole nother nation and ambush you, even one that you guys have 4 times the things. That was supposed to be like the, hey, you guys fucked up last time. You left somebody alive that you weren't supposed to. And then after the combat ended for that session, and before the blue blood was introduced, um, uh, I introduced new plans. After that to be like, yeah, that was a little too like short of a story arc. That was just 2 sessions. He ambushes you in the desert because it's random encounter, and then he just dies. And the next time you meet him, so I was supposed to, if you guys let him live, I was gonna give you some backstory on his race, the Furbolg,
So
and
that's why
why.
you're so disappointed when I killed it.
Yeah, I was, but I already have plans to give more of the backstory of the Furbolgs. They are important, especially the next act. So I'm not giving you information on what you were supposed to get out of him, but I will say you are going to get some history about him specifically, and the history of the Furbolgs and why he's out here in a condor. And he was in Ajamelica earlier. Um, and that stuff does go into stuff that we'll bring up later. But him specifically, he was, all that was supposed to happen with him is that he's going to, if you let him live, he was going to be like, damn, I can't fucking kill you guys. You guys are fucking monsters. And he's gonna start questioning his humanity as he was. If you talk, the longer he stayed with the group, he was supposed to stay for the whole like mountainside thing.
Yeah.
And he's going to be like, damn, I was previously on the edge of being with humanity and not being in humanity, but I decided, man, you guys have shown me humanity sucks. I'm gonna go live in wolf form for the rest of my life. See ya. That's the information that you aren't gonna ever get. So there you go.
Axla
And
was
now
like,
he's dead.
And now
Axla was
he's
literally brainstorming all of that stuff in the middle of the end of the combat session.
Yep.
And like in the middle of a thought, Ziegler, I just go, I'm gonna decapitate him. And
I'm
you just,
literally,
like,
I'm not even
lash
joking.
out.
That whole sound I made was like I was mid thinking. I'm like, all right, so
I'm
this is what
beside
happens
myself.
with this is what. So I've already decided halfway through this combat, this is a druid. It's the druid has shapeshifted into a werewolf because they're like questioning their humanity, and then it's a furbolg actually because the blue blood that I've I've introduced because I was gonna be like, oh, funky with the blue blood for other reasons. I went through the blue blood so many times. We'll also get to that in the story, of course, as we're seeing with Plumhead. But
Hooray!
Oh no.
yeah,
That's,
yeah.
it's a little scary.
And I'm like, I was halfway through thinking like, why this Furbolg specifically is all the way out here, and then you're like, I chop his head off. Like, oh,
Is that back to reality?
okay, yeah. Anyways, that's the information that you would have gotten. That I can give to you. The other stuff you will soon learn about more Furbolgs in the upcoming months.
We're gonna get our ass kicked by them.
No, absolutely not.
Anyways, Marcy, your turn on questions if you have any. Anything. It can be a joke question.
Is pegging.
Is pegging? I would say yes.
Good.
Oh god, I didn't even see that one. Jesus Christ, that one.
You sure you want that to be your question? Is there?
I've had one, but I forgot it. So oh well.
That's what you get for not writing it down.
You can. I
Let's
will
do
since that was such a short question. Once we get back to your placement, I will allow you a double question because that one was so short. That's like a bonus 5th question. If is pegging? Yes. All right. Zeagle. Last final question before we get back to the session. I know this is a little bit longer, but I'm sorry, guys. I also start classes next week. Hina's not gonna be here.
Yeah.
No worries, man. Don't worry. This is probably a question that you aren't going to be prepared for. Another thing that just popped into my head. Did the story work with the royal guards that we were working with to fuck up the cliffside? Did that work, or did those men come back to their execution?
You can't hear it, but I'm wiggling my eyebrows. So basically, you guys, it has been a couple days. It's been 5 days exactly with the start of, well, the end of this session. It's been 5 days since the mountainside got blown up. Word's gonna start getting out. We'll see.
So we don't know yet.
You don't know yet, but you will real soon. And trust me, Bert will be here for that.
Oh god.
That is something that
I thought it was a greedy question because he's not here.
I answered it in the way I would have even if Bert was here.
Gotcha.
That stuff is soon. There is more just behind. Just I may be sounding like they get executed or something bad happened to them, but there is so much more worse than you think.
To be fair, yeah, we're getting that payoff right now.
You're getting your payoff soon enough. So that's your question?
Now, more like a month. Yeah, that was my question.
Not even a month. I'm gonna say fucking next week. You may not even be here for it.
No.
It's gonna be evolving. It's gonna be evolving.
Bro,
You guys aren't.
Wait, I can't even watch this.
I can't say that you guys aren't gonna be ready since I can't. I'm not you guys, but I have a feeling you guys aren't ready for the consequences of your actions.
I'm always ready.
If the town was big, this is besides a town disappearing, which is kind of big, I guess. I had a whole nother story. My other campaign was just towns disappearing left and right. So I find it not that big, but my opinion.
Oh my god, I almost forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah, that one is. You'll finally get an answer for you specifically, Hina, to why the towns were disappearing on a magical level eventually. But yeah. But you were there too, Marcy, for one whole session. I don't think you caught on to the fact that towns were disappearing in that other one.
She had 2 sessions.
My bad. So, where was I going? Oh yeah, if the town, that thing was the consequences of your actions, and you think that was big or relative, I think it's small, but I think this is so much bigger, and you guys aren't ready. Bert's not, Dale's not. I don't think he's mentally ready for it either. I think I've given away too much by saying that. Anyway,
yeah, you're hyping it up too much, man.
Honestly,
I like it.
Do you want the precursors to protect him from
That shit.
that other guy?
No more questions from you. That's my
Okay,
finger on my microphone. That is your lips. All
No.
right,
Shh.
Marv.
Yes. Uh, my last question: how badly did we like fuck up on one of the like the story where we got sidetracked?
Oh man, which one?
Which was like the worst one for you, I guess.
I've said this before, and I will always say it again. The town, but I can't put the blame on you guys anymore. Since the whole point of the town was to give you your first taste of freedom with the sending journal, and
Mm-hmm.
It's gone.
freedom.
it wasn't there. You can hear it in my Marcy was there. I was worse than this. I'm in a depression now just thinking about it. I'm my own problem.
What did you expect
So
to come out of that?
Yeah.
I was expecting. I guess now that you're all here, I feel more comfortable with saying what I was expecting to come out of if you guys actually with the original plan of the sending journals being all of you for the access. I was giving you guys a Skyrim-like experience in D&D where for while Q was off doing his research, um, which I'll get to eventually in the story. Um, while he was doing that, it was supposed to give you guys short introduction, act as a playground for me to test the waters with how you guys felt with side quests, combats, and stuff. And you guys were supposed to start building reputation with the guild or losing reputation with the guild respectively. I with the if the sending journal worked, Marcy's like whole campaign, like electoral campaign, would have been a part of it too, where suddenly you guys have now to deal with reputation with the townsfolk, the people that are the tradespeople that are dealing with trading with the town in and out of it. Um,
You introduced that reputation and nothing happened of it.
Nothing happened of it because you guys did next to nothing because I didn't lead you anywhere because I thought I was, and the sending journal didn't work. So it was supposed to be a set of ways for you guys to grow money, get experience, get some side quests out of the way, gear up, and build reputation with this whole system I had planned, which I've no longer want anymore, admittedly. But back at the time, um, this whole reputation system, specifically with the guild, adventuring guild, the adventuring guild specifically, um, was supposed to be as the person you know as Gethin, the Rock Ganassi, was supposed,
Rocknassi, formerly known as Gethin.
yeah, um, was supposed to be as alluded to a new adventurers guild. That's why you guys headed there in the first place in this timeline. Um, and you were supposed to help him build it or work against him building it, depending on which way you guys, leaned toward. Because admittedly, the party was half and half at the time, so I was totally fine going either way. Um, Eventually, after that arc, Gethin was supposed to be like, "This was a good test. I'm going to start moving this across nations," and eventually, the Adventurers Guild was supposed to become this new introduction to a new era of Segovia, where instead of nations, Segovia is just a concept, and nations are just rules, but it is all technically ruled by individual guilds and organizations, and that was supposed to why I also introduced the Valkyrie was that they were going to be the Gethin was definitely not going to be Elon Musk for sure. God no.
Gethin actually provides a useful service
Yeah.
for starters.
True.
uh, it was supposed to be this whole system thing where it would be you guys chose and melded the entirety of that system to your liking as you built more reputation in one than the other, and you guys affected the war itself by, you know, giving power and doing side quests for one side compared to the other. And the Adventurers Guild was end game was going to be breaking after you guys break the current time loop. Uh, the war just ends, and campaign would end there. It would be the earliest way to end the campaign, and we would start the next. It would affect the next campaign with being a exploration campaign. I had so much planned. It all fell apart because that's why I was also so pissed at the time. Because
Yeah.
yeah, Jesus Christ,
I
that's
completely understand why you were pissed when we weren't understanding the concepts of the finale. And also, you were fumbling it very hard.
I was fumbling in so many ways. Every system I wanted to do was falling apart in front of me, and it's all my fault. Yeah. So Marcy, you get 2 questions, and then we'll get back to the campaign.
First question is pegging A, and second question is what is my relationship? What is my relation with David?
Ooh.
That's
Okay,
actually a good
so
one.
that is a good one. Is pegging A? No.
Is pegging B?
You already answered your 2 questions. You're pushing it.
Eagle Butt
All
against
right.
Smite, my god.
Won't be the first time.
So your connection with David can't go into. I did ask this before David left. I do have permission to use his character, just not commercially, of course, since it's his whole personality and how he
Course.
VTubes. I'm allowed to use in this campaign, period. And he wasn't going to show up that much either. And he's still planned to appear eventually. I admittedly haven't even asked Mystic yet if I have permission. I didn't get to doing that. I should ask Mystic if I can use her character, since I will give more information since I've alluded to it, I think so far. I'm just gonna say it outright that specifically in the intro to Act 2, there's another party brought up. Both of them have a plasmoid. They are confusing you as a precursor. Marcy.
Interesting. That's funny.
So,
Oh.
and the other party, I can't really lie to you at this point, but it probably doesn't have Devin in it. Yeah. So that's part of your relation to the story so far. And other relation wise, I think your characters aren't connected at all in the story. David's story was really much the way he pitched it to me, as he's just going around trying to help as many people out as he can, and you two are very much not.
Quite the
No.
opposite. Quite
Much
the
the
opposite.
opposite. And I was really happy to introduce you to this campaign, because I realized after Mystic and Devin left was you are just the axiom of Devin. I'm not using that word right, I think, but like it would.
Like the negative?
I think is axiom a term for
I don't
negative?
think Axiom is.
Um,
No information available for this page when I looked up Axiom.
Axiom, a statement of proposition regarding being established, accepted. Nope. So entirely
The
wrong
invert.
word. The invert. You are the invert of David in every single fucking way. You're even fucking red. Like, I may be forgetting my color theory right now, but red and green are fucking polar opposites.
No, it's blue. It's cyan. But close.
You know
That's
the
it.
like fucked up thing?
Red and blue are actually.
The fucked up thing is like I was talking with Axelot trying to help him brainstorm on how to deal with David being gone.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things I tossed out was like, what if Marcy was like a corrupted version of David?
That was a plan that I'm like, well, you're just the polar opposite. So that's good enough for me. That's good enough for me for what I need in the story. I was like really worried too at the time, because like in my brain, like I had this whole, it's been canned. I had this whole thing where like, the precursors, as I call them now, entirely new concept. So don't take any of this as lore.
God, I can't wait to become precursor dust so I can become precursor corrupted to create precursor flood.
But this, what we call precursors now, where actually everyone's been the same character for eons upon end, and this whole time loop thing's been happening forever. And it was a really shitty story in hindsight, really stereotypical. But one of the main constants was there was always a plasmoid, there was always a paladin, and it just so happened David that one time mushed the two together, and that's why I kind of And I've dropped that. I dropped the paladin thing being like right away after David left. I'm like, yeah. And eventually, very quickly before even Bert joined, I dropped that whole story thing of, you guys are predestined beings that aren't actually your current beings. And I was already considering it with you, Marcy, and I didn't talk to you about it yet because I'm like, I'm probably gonna drop this when you joined, and then I dropped it. So yeah,
Since it turned out to be something that you can.
No, I think it works perfectly in my opinion because you are a constant still.
I'm still a constant.
The only
Might
thing
be
is
an enigma.
the only thing is that your quote unquote soul person, that is your original form, the original person from eons ago when this whole conflict started, wouldn't be anything like Marcy.
Right.
This was another part of the reason why I'm like, when Bert came around, I'm like, yeah, I really need to cut this. This is not a fun way for people to interact with the story of being like, actually, your character's very different from who you're currently playing, because that's not fun. I thought it was.
It definitely would have worked if, like, everyone stuck around.
Yeah, it would have worked. Everyone stuck around, but no one did, and that's how D&D is. I should have pre-planned that ahead, anyways. That was my fault. That was a bad idea, and I'm looking back and I'm like, yeah, that was stupid. And I've grown as a D&D writer since. Yeah, so that's your multiple reasons and relations to David. Yeah. Do you wish, since you've asked two of the same questions, I should say, anything else?
Is pegging a gay?
This is a very philosophical question, all right? It depends. Some guys just like the feeling of it and don't
You're
like
right.
men, but some would argue that they're just in denial.
I would argue pegging has to be between a male and a female.
That is the definition, technically.
Well,
therefore, pegging is
a female and a female, I think.
That too. Pegging is actually specifically, yeah, everyone's an adult here, so pegging is specifically purely anal. So
yeah,
with female v female, female on female would have to be anal. Still,
I want to go home.
Yeah. Now that we've answered that philosophical question, my answer is it depends. Most likely they're just in denial. So yes? Question mark. Anyways, one last vibe check before we do the quick. I wouldn't say quick. It's gonna end the session, and Rizzo, are you awake?
Yes.
All right, you sound like you're also not about to fall asleep. Okay. So,
last we left off.
Good question.
You
guys were just finishing up cleaning the rocks.
Yeah, wait, give me a second so I can just stop the recording and start it back up.
Thank you so much.